Well, if there was any doubt that God is here and now, dog, spelled the other way around, is God. So, I have some things to give out. I trust I have enough. If I don't take it personally. So this month's focus, I mean, it's finally August. It was winter and fall a few weeks ago, and then it was summer earlier this week. And now today is a dog day of August. So the focus this month is vitality. And as I've shared my process with many of you when I've spoken here before, I think about the topic quite a bit. And then at about 7:30 on Sunday morning of the day I'm speaking, the thoughts come together, and then they change when I'm in here. And one of the reasons that I share this process with you is because this vital process of creation, this vital process of creativity, is what creates the experience that we have, the life that we have. And so what's being passed around are pennies. And the reason for that is because they say, "In God we trust." And the essence of vitality, and I smiled, Dottie, during your opening prayer, because I've been thinking about this word for over a month. And I've been asking people, wherever I am, what does vitality mean to you? What do you think it is? And I spent the summer in the Berkshires in Western Massachusetts, and last Sunday, the final Sunday of the Boston Symphony playing in Tanglewood, is always Beethoven's Ninth. And so I have been paying attention to a number of translations of the chorus of Beethoven's Ninth, which was written by Schiller, Friedrich Schiller, and it was originally a bar song. So there was spirit involved in it. And as someone read the words, one of the translations to me, the words that jumped out for me were godly spark. So when you use the word God spark in the opening prayer, I thought, yes, this is just like the closing service of each month where the community participates. So thank you for that. And the other spark was when Bruce and Cliff spoke about their meeting 20 years ago, September 4th. You know that spark that you feel when you meet someone and it's just simpatico? I know you, I feel a connection with you. Maybe you're from my pod before we entered this particular journey on Earth. And then the opening song, God You Are. God, you are every mountain, you are every ocean, you are every sunrise. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe. This is what vitality is. So I've given you pennies. Did everybody get one? Great, great. So because I ask that you hold it while I speak through the closing prayer, and you endow that penny with whatever is vital and signifies vitality for you. You turn this into a charm that serves as a reminder of that life force. So I went to two Bibles in looking up the words vital and vitality, the Dictionary Bible and the Thesaurus Bible. And so I'm going to just share with you some of the words and pay attention to what resonates within you. Because what's most important is not that what resonates for me is godly spark for vitality. What's most important is what resonates for you. So you will strengthen, you will nourish, you will feed, and you will experience your connection with Source. So you may want to close your eyes as I read some of the words, and be aware that some of your own definitions may pop into your mind. Trust those. So vitality, animation, ardor, audacity, being, bloom, exuberance, liveliness, lustiness, pizzazz, sparkle, verve, vigor, vim, vivaciousness, and zest. So what is it for you that nourishes this aliveness in you? What is it in you that allows the connection to Source to be fully open? What is it in you that allows you to be a mighty expression of love in the world? We are living at a time where there are calls for love each and every moment. All you have to do is listen to 1 minute of a news program, and you can see and hear a call for love. And what if it's true that each one of us has the spark of the divine that is animating us each and every moment? And what if we act in our thoughts, in our words, and in our actions on that spark? And what if through our thinking, our words, and our actions, our willingness to each and every moment that we're consciously awake, to have a new thought of love, won't that change this energy around us? Won't it mean that if I step into a community like this that's filled with love, no matter what I'm feeling, and I simply inhale, that the love will be contagious? What if I am that powerful that when I allow my heart to be fully open to the fullness of the experience of life, that I may be the tipping point in consciousness that allows love to expand exponentially, and then whatever is beyond exponential, there's probably a word for that. And so in looking at translations of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, of the words, I found a modern translation that I'm going to read to you, because for me, this encapsulates what vitality is. It's a joy within us. And I want to be really clear. I'm not saying, so now if you're not joyful at every single moment, you have a problem and God isn't with you. We live in an expanding universe. Each one of us, every single moment, is expanding and contracting. And in the contraction, we have the opportunity to invite the light. The light is love. The light is, God, you are every mountain. God, you are every sunrise. And so the words to Ode to Joy, this is a translation by someone named Henry Van Dyke. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee, opening to the sun above. Melt the clouds of sin and sadness, drive the dark of doubt away, giver of immortal gladness, fill us with the light of day. All thy works with joy surround thee. Heaven and earth reflect thy rays. Stars and angels sing around thee, center of unbroken praise. Field and forest, vale and mountain, flowery meadow, flashing sea, singing bird and flowing fountain call us to rejoice in thee. Thou art giving and forgiving, ever blessing, ever blessed, wellspring of the joy of living, ocean depth of happy rest. Thou, our Father, Mother, Brother, all who live in love are thine. Teach us how to love each other. Lift us up to joy divine. Mortals join the happy chorus, which the morning stars begin. Godly love is reigning over us. Brother love binds man to man. Ever singing, march we onward, victors in the midst of strife. Joyful music leads us sunward in the triumph song of life. So as I read this over and over again, and since it represents vitality for me, that godly spark, I look to see what is the message in this. Well, there's a message that there is sin, which is disconnection. In archery, sin means that you're off the mark. It doesn't mean you're a terrible person and now you're doomed to a life of misery and intense drama moment by moment. And if you're good at drama, you don't need to continue practicing it. That's what I've learned. So there is sadness. There is heartbreak. There is our being off the mark, forgetting our vision, taking things personally, a disconnection between our inner experience and our outer experience. But the words of this translation of Ode to Joy is that they can be melted through love. They can be melted through the godly spark. Ode to Joy, just as this morning's opening song, God You Are, is a reminder that God is all around us every single moment. There's a prayer that's called the prayer of protection, and the final line of the prayer is, wherever I am, God is. So wherever I show up, and wherever your eye and your eye and your eye and your eye show up, God is there. God is not somewhere out there, but the call for us to remember this is a vital call for us to feast on all that life has to offer. And then the godly spark is in giving and forgiving, starting with forgiving ourselves. So at this very moment, if there's anything in you that you have, that you continue to feel you wish was different, if only I had, if only I didn't, if only this person was different, if only, forgive yourself at this very moment. And you forgive yourself by honoring that at every moment, each one of us is doing the very, very best we can based on the programming that's running us. So the giving starts here so I can then give there. And finally, and some of you were here when I read a story last year. And so I just want to summarize it because it popped into my mind. And one of the things for me about teaching stories is that they have many layers. And even though I may have heard it yesterday, if I hear it today, it may meet me in a new place because today is a new moment. So briefly, this is a story about a once thriving monastery that at the end of the 20th century was in a long period of decline. There was now an abbot and 4 monks who were in their 70s. And it was clear that this monastic order was dying. So the abbot, very concerned about this, decided that he would go into the woods to talk to the rabbi. He knew that the rabbi went into the woods a particular day of the week, and he thought they could have a conversation about this, 2 leaders of their spiritual communities. And he goes to the rabbi and says, we're in a state of decline. I don't know what to do. We're all in our 70s. Young monks are not coming to join our order. The spirit has left the people, is what the rabbi said. It's the same in my congregation. Almost no one comes to the synagogue anymore. And they cried on one another's shoulders and really didn't have much more to say. And the rabbi gets up, and the abbot gets up and is ready to leave, and they embrace one another. And the abbot says, I haven't achieved the aim of my visit. Is there nothing you could say to me, no advice that you could give me, which could help me save my dying order? And the rabbi says, no, I'm sorry, answered the rabbi. I have no advice to give you. The only thing I can say is that the Messiah is one of you. And the abbot really didn't know what that meant, and he returned to the monastery, and the monks were very eager to hear, what happened? What did you hear? And the rabbi and the abbot kind of, well, I'm not sure, but he did say one thing. After we cried together, he said that the Messiah is one of us, but I don't know what he meant by that. And so what started to happen slowly is the monks started looking at one another and, are you the Messiah? Well, I don't know if you could be. You complain a lot, but maybe you are the Messiah. Are you the Messiah? Well, I don't know. You've gotten a little crotchety, but maybe you're the Messiah. And all the 4 monks and the abbot started looking at one another, asking, are you the Messiah? And then a light bulb went off, and they started to wonder, am I the Messiah? And they started treating one another differently. And what started happening is on Sunday afternoons, people would gather on the grounds of the monastery with picnics. And there was vitality, there was life present again. And young men joined the order to become monks. And the place was thriving again. And so while I've given you the pennies to make them charms, to serve as reminders for you of what is vital for you, what does vitality mean to you, I have another suggestion with them. And you'll know when the time is right. How will you know? You'll know because I'm telling you the time is right. And if I repeat it enough times, it will get embedded somewhere in your consciousness. So at the most perfect time, when the time is right, you will be reminded. And when you see someone who's in need of vitality,